we're here. It's Nasty Neal at the Station of Decapitation Without Your Head. I'm joined by Lily Hayes Kaufman, Lloyd Kaufman, and Catherine Corcoran of your new film, Occupy Cons. How did the premiere go last night?
The premiere was it was so much fun to be here at Fantasia. We had a great time. It was incredible energy from the audience. It's just such film lovers who are here, and there were so many people who came out who were lining around the block to see Lloyd Kaufman and to see Catherine, and it was just an incredible experience. So we were so grateful to be here.
The film got the house was full, and the film got a standing ovation. And Lily Hayes and Catherine did a terrific Q&A with the cast, with others from Return to Nukem High, who were featured in Occupy Can, and the audience loved it. It's education, Occupy Can, educational, entertaining, and of course emotional and
Yeah.
kind of bittersweet, because Troma doesn't make out too well there. Although there was sort of a happy ending, but
And no one kicked you out for the wrong color jacket?
That is a great point. We were allowed to wear whatever we wanted this time.
Excellent, excellent. So when you were
Yeah.
filming it, like, because it says it's filmed between, many years, when did you know you were going to turn it into a documentary?
Well, so the plan was to go to Cannes and to film this footage and to put together. There were sort of two parts of going to Cannes: to sort of promote independent film and to tell the story of what's happening to independent filmmakers, and to sell Troma's latest film at the time, Return to Nukem High, and to document that whole journey, and to ultimately share the story with the world. And it turned into Occupy Cannes.
Well, also, there was another documentary done 10 years prior called All the Love You Can, in which Troma really were drunken, drugged up. We all were, out of control. We were we behaved very badly, obviously. And it's very objective, but really Troma is clearly, not doing it right. But Occupy Can, we wanted to see if there was any different atmosphere at Cannes compared to how it was at All the Love You Can, and 10 years prior. And indeed, the Can is worse toward the independent people who, we do street theater and parades and zombie crawl, and we have volunteers who come from all over the world and stay in our apartment and carry picket signs and masks and Toxie and Kabuki Man and Tromettes, and Catherine and Stars. And we'd have like 50 people as a nucleus, and then the citizens and the cops, they all love Troma. They've been there since 1971. So, the festival, and indeed they are clearly, they want to police us out, and others there were other filmmakers who are trying to do what we do now, and they're finding they can't wear anything, they can't carry, posters. We couldn't even wear T-shirts. They wouldn't let us wear Troma
Really?
T-shirts on the Quasette. That way, it was ridiculous this year. They pulled the Troma team, and they lined them up against the wall and frisked them, made them they deleted pictures that we had. I mean, it's ridiculous. Go on, Lily.
No, I was just gonna say, I think when it was interesting, because I wanted to ask Catherine, actually, for the team who had seen all the Love You Can from 2001 and all this sort of insanity. And so that is something I was always wondering is, Catherine, had you seen, All the Love You Can, and what was sort of your thought coming into this year?
Gosh, yeah, we watched. Well, Lloyd will make you watch Troma documentaries to prepare to make a Troma film.
Yeah.
When I was cast in Richard Nukem High, my final audition for the film was to watch a behind the scenes documentary of the making of a Troma film, while The Office watched me watch it. I think to make sure I could handle it. So in going to Cannes, I had seen All the Love You Can, and I was already friends and had worked with Doug Sackman, who is really the protagonist, I guess, the main focal point of All the Love You Can, and obviously a big focal point in Occupy Can. So I had seen it, and I don't know, candidly, if it was just
good sugar mo.
That's the name of the next book.
I don't know if it was just like blind idealism, or what, but I was kind of just ready for it. I mean, I think I knew it. I wasn't worried. I didn't think it was going to be like that. I don't know. And it wasn't. And I don't know why I didn't think, why I had such faith in these people. I don't know if it was living in a funeral home and making a movie together already, being very close with them, but I just, yeah, I had faith in them. And I think maybe that's something that Lloyd, I don't think maybe, I know it's something that Lloyd instills in, he has faith in us, right? I think at Comic-Con I talked, and last night I talked about the intro that James Gunn gives to Lloyd in his books. And one of the things that he says is if there weren't filmmakers like Lloyd Kaufman who, you know, had faith in jerk-offs like me, there wouldn't be some of the best filmmakers of the last 50 years. And I think that that holds true. And that's the energy I think that you see with Lloyd's daughters. And yeah, I don't know. I never thought it was going to go. I knew it was going to be risky, but I never was afraid that it would be a drunken mess. I don't know what.
But yeah, because it seemed like you guys were this sort of new generation of trauma people who are like, we are serious. We
Maybe
carry the
you know,
torch.
yeah. Also, I think Lloyd had to sign a contract when we were making Return to Nukem High that we weren't allowed to drink. I think maybe probably because of that, and I don't know. And he fired people who broke that contract, so there was a seriousness to it then.
Let's return to Nukem High,
Yeah.
part 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We're pretty strict.
So you mentioned Lloyd's daughters, obviously Lily's here, and Charlotte in the documentary, she mentions that, you know, for her whole life she heard Lloyd talk about being shut down by the big guy, and then she questioned if that maybe that's also self-sabotage to like stay the underdog. Had you ever had that conversation with her like off air, like in life, or was that the first time you'd heard her, you know, mention something like that before?
Well, we just
For either
had a big deal at the San Diego Comic-Con for the new Toxic Avenger movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Lily Hayes is making a new documentary. And we had Peter Dinklage and the stars. We're all doing like this, press conferences and a huge presentation to 6,500 people. But Lily Hayes made sure that I didn't say anything stupid. You know, and the same with here at Fantasia, because I tend to deliberately piss people off, you know, just for the fun of pissing them off. There's no reason for that. You know, it's a tragic, it's like a mistake. I shouldn't do that.
You don't think it's like a, I don't know, slightly like way to kind of get the, like in the way a comedian does, get the laugh before they laugh at you?
Maybe, I don't know, but it's unnecessary to be, you know, Lily Hayes sort of made sure I did a good job at San Diego Comic-Con, that I stayed away from a certain amount of bitterness and complaining about the Motion Picture Association of America, which had a double standard that let movies like Die Hard have excruciating violence, but Troma's War, which was almost a cartoon, we got you know, half-hour cutout. So I didn't. Lily Hayes was kept me sort of on you know, on
yeah.
Whatever.
He has been so celebrated this last week, and I'm sure even more so for you guys to see, but it has been so incredible and moving to see. It is so overdue, in my opinion.
Well, the documentary spoke for itself last night, and you guys, the Q&A was, people stayed after they stayed in the lobby for another 2 hours talking to you know, your cast and Lily Hayes, and it was really.
Yeah, and I think with a documentary, you know, a documentary can appeal to people outside of the Tromaverse, you know, people that aren't just into the Troma movies, and it could be like they're into like, hey, these are cool, this is interesting, I might go check out Troma movies, or it'd be like, I'm staying far away, this is why I've never watched Troma.
I hope you're right. I mean, I hope that the documentary appeals to Troma fans, but I also hope it's sort of a window into a subculture that people who aren't familiar with Troma you know, may be interested in, and it may teach them and draw them into Troma, or to people who are maybe Troma curious, and maybe this will sort of push them over the edge, and people watch a Troma movie they've had their eye on that they haven't yet, you know, had a chance to watch. So I hope you're right.
Yeah, and since you mentioned you've been going to Cannes since the 70s, and with the rise of, you know, so many genre festivals, Is Cannes still important, as important as it used to be for independent filmmakers? So the idea, like, they don't allow independent filmmakers like they used to. Is it as important today?
No, I don't think so. I think the people who are real cinephiles, I don't even know if they bother to read about what's playing at Cannes. It's not really there to discover new talent or new films. Fantasia exists to be on the cusp of art and development of true soulful art, and that's why the Sitges and those festivals to which I've been going for since the 80s, actually. Those are really the showcases for progressive and independent and new genuine artists. And Occupy Cannes proves it, because you can see that in a short time, the people who we identified for Return to Nukem High, who were doing so much in Occupy Cannes to promote independent cinema, which is part of the reason Occupy Cannes. It was a legitimate goal to try to, Charlotte Kaufman uses the loudspeaker. We had press conferences every day to explain different aspects of independent art. There were street press conferences, but the crowds listened. But every time we did it, the guys with the things and the big, the ICE Cannes Film Festival's equivalent of ICE came and threatened to put us in jail. And we found out there are no laws on the books of Cannes Film Festival or France that prohibit any kind of demonstration that is for entertainment value or promoting movies. There's nothing against it. Nothing to say you can't wear masks or carry picket signs. It's the First Amendment.
That I forgot about, and I don't even know if we have footage of it. But after one of the things that was one of our street theater things then was that we had a wedding, and that's in the film that it got stopped. And we were told we couldn't do it. Our film focuses on two queer characters, and we wanted to do a wedding, which actually happens at the end of volume 2. And we were stopped, and we were told we couldn't do that. And there were, like, outside of our apartment, like, pro-family protesters. And I don't know. I mean, we were maybe far enough away from the Croisette that wasn't an issue for Cannes, but it did, like, spark some sort of backlash that we were trying to do that. Our wedding got shut down, and we laid in the symbol of the festival. My co-star and I, Asta, and kissed.
Gay marriage had just been legalized in France. There was absolutely no reason why Catherine and Asta could not have a lesbian marriage. Catherine brought her own costume. We had props. We had it would have been fun for the citizens of Cannes.
But but I think, what wasn't, that is shown in the film, but what wasn't shown was those protesters that were by our hotel after that. And I wonder if, I don't know, I wonder if to your point, it was not illegal, is the point, because they were doing it, they were exercising, and they have it. We obviously disagree with that stance, but they had every right to exercise their free speech.
Well, hey, didn't Disney have guys with guns and knives and whatever walking around with pirates, and no problem, and they even bragged about it. We are with Disney,
Catherine mentioned, like, some other footage. Would you ever release, like, an extended cut or, like, additional stuff if there's, like, a physical release?
It's up to you.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, we have 27 terabyte drive.
Right.
So that is it's very tempting.
Yeah, the 10-hour cut of the film.
If the people want it, I have a lot of footage I would love to share. There were so many other moments and, touching moments, funny moments, that
I loved it, not just because you guys are here. I've been telling people I thought it was great. I got to see it yet last night. And I was at Troma Studios for the first time this summer, Lloyd. So I had a great time filming Our Man Fox. So
thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you for letting us be there. So yeah, I love the movie, and congratulations on it. And I hope people get to see it at other festivals and down the road when it becomes available for everybody.
No,
Thank you so
Occupy
much.
Can is
Thank
going
you.
to Sitges and some other good genre festivals. So it's and we'll open it in New York and LA and
I
mean,
like that it's about Cannes, but then it's going to these other festivals that really support independent film.
yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, it's going great.
I just back to the can comment. I know how my
Yeah.
dad feels about can, but I can't help but, I have to admit that somewhere deep in my head or in my heart or something, I can't help but fantasize about one day my dad
Yeah.
getting somehow acknowledged and honored by the official Cannes Film Festival. He might hate it, but I feel like
though is like we still both films still screened in Cannes as part of the festival. Like I think that needs to be like highlighted, just because we were getting backlash, we were still screening in the festival at one of their theaters. Not the giant one that you see all the like gowns on and the big red stairs, but at that festival, just like every other festival, they have their large theater and then they have smaller theaters, and we were in one of the smaller theaters. So like you were part of like Cannes benefited and chose to allow you to be part of the program. So I don't know how far-fetched that is, in the grand scheme of things, and things change, leadership changes, programmers change. It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Thank you.
6,500 people just honored you in
What?
Hall H at Comic-Con. So
I Hall H at Comic-Con, and also that at Comic-Con had 150,000 attendees this year, and you were in the main theater there. If it's possible, if it's possible for you to be there, I think it is possible for you to be anywhere.
But James Gunn sent a very nice video last night congratulating Lily Hayes on the movie.
congratulating you.
Well, I was outside. I didn't hear it, but I'm not right. I mean, he's a great guy. We worked together in Troma, 1992. So
It was cool to see footage of him in the movie. It was good to see you in Superman. And real quick, for Catherine, because I've been doing this is 20 years of my podcast, Without Your Head. And whenever I ask someone from that's been involved with Troma at all, I get one of two answers. Usually, a terrible experience, and they think Lloyd ripped them off or something, or it's a great experience. And I think it's really up to what you think you're going to get out of working with Troma. So, what would you say you've got?
Wait a minute. Who said? When did you hear we ripped somebody off?
Joel Reed, who I was very close friends with, was not a fan of you,
he's name
Lloyd.
dropping and everything.
Joe Lynch?
And there's been some other people, but
he was a pervert. He was put in jail. He was a fucking pervert. He's a crook. We owned that film. We bought it in the 80s. We own the whole thing. We bought it from
and there's been more recent people, but in my opinion, Lloyd, it really depends what Liam Regan is a huge fan.
What do you call it? Backhanded compliment. Yeah, Joel Reed, a fucking pervert. Why don't you talk about Epstein?
Well, I think I will say
you can't win in this world.
Well,
I was going to say Liam Regan, who I've had on the show many times, and I always quote him. I say that he said that working for Troma was his film school.
Well, I will say that's what I will say is I think by and large I have run into I don't think I've ever run into anybody who's actually had a negative thing to say about working with Lloyd and working with Troma. Everybody knows that it is not glamorous, that you will learn a lot, but again, Lloyd takes risks and gives people the opportunities that other places are not giving them. James does always say that Lloyd, if it weren't for Lloyd, he wouldn't have been making his
100%.
film. There is a story about Trey Parker and Matt Stone, also in his books, that I think Trey wrote himself, where he talks about how Lloyd was the only filmmaker who would distribute Cannibal the Musical. The stories like that, the list goes on. And the reason for that is because Lloyd believes in the independent spirit and believes in the creatives that he works with and their potential. And I think, and it is, I talked about this last night at the screening, it's kind of film boot camp of sorts, but it's a rite of passage. And every time I meet someone who came through Troma, regardless of where they are in their career, whether it is someone who is at DC or it's someone who's making their own films, there's this kind of camaraderie and embrace and family element to it. And we always and we identify each other by what Lloyd film we worked on. That is your Troma class. So like there is like the class of Doug Sackman. There's the class of like Terra Firma. There's the class of Tromeo and Juliet. There's the class of Return to Nukem High. I'm sure there's the class of Shakespeare Shitstorm, and now Power of Positive Murders. That's the most recent one. So and
Thank you.
I don't think ever once does anybody not smile and embrace each other when, regardless of whether they knew each other working for Lloyd. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what anyone else's experience, what anyone else you've talked to has experienced, but my experience has always been positive.
Well, 52 years, there's
You gotta
nobody.
make someone mad in 52 years.
Well, and
Yeah, I
Well,
wasn't trying to
well,
insult you,
well,
Lloyd. I was
yeah.
genuinely curious
Well,
because
and we own that movie. We own that movie 100%. We bought it in the 80s. From
yeah,
the people
I'm
who
not
did.
arguing with you, Lloyd. I'm just saying
We also,
when I've
there
actually
wouldn't be a
gone.
blood. Joe Reed would have had nothing because his movie was all chopped up, and we took it back and put everything to make it the original. We restored the negative and brought it back as Bloodsucking Freaks. He wouldn't have existed without us restoring his movie, which was chopped up to be an R-rated movie and made no sense. So, and then we bought it from the people who owned it, and he had nothing to do with it.
I'm really sorry to interrupt.
No,
but
it's fine. It's totally fine. I'm sorry. I didn't want to insult Lloyd here, but
If you're gonna say something, I gotta respond to it.
No, I
52
understand.
years of
Yeah.
Troma, and there's only love as far as I can see. If you can find somebody else, we're litigation free. We distribute hundreds of movies. We give statements. Troma Now, our streaming service, it's got about 1,000 movies, and we do send statements and a little bit of money because it's a small streaming service. But people here in Fantasia have movies on Troma Now. I ask them, "Are you getting a statement?" "Yeah, I got $2.50." You know, but the point is, we've been honest and decent, and I think people know the truth of what they're going to do when they're on a Troma movie. They know they're going to sleep.
that was
on the
kind of what I
floor.
was going with. Yeah,
They're
I
gonna
really
sleep
think
on
if
the
you
floor like Catherine did in a funeral home. They're gonna eat crap food, and they're gonna have to learn to defecate in a paper bag. And if they don't want that, they shouldn't be
who
with us.
doesn't,
And
right?
many of them don't go with us. A lot of people don't want
Yeah,
to be.
I understand. All right, well, thank you guys
I'm
for
trying
being
to
on
figure
here.
out how to defecate.
Usually those-
I haven't gotten to that. Haven't figured that out yet. Still
There's still time, Catherine.
There's
Still
still
time.
time.
I'm really sorry, but we do.
Yeah,
have
Yeah.
another
All right. I'll see you
interview.
guys.
Thanks,
Bye.
Neal. We're
Yeah,
friends.
thank
We know each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Thank you, Neal.
Thanks,
Bye.
Neal.
It's early in the morning.
Oh, hey, look, I'm very small here. So this was recorded the other day for Fantasia. Not very long ago, just 2 days ago. So I did want to come on here, actually live here with everybody. So this is me live here. So things got heated there with me and Lloyd. And so that is something I bring up on the show a lot. I think longtime watchers know, listeners know. So when I have someone on who's ever worked with Troma, I'm always interested because I do get two different replies about their time with Troma. And I only brought up Joel Reed because I know he wouldn't have minded, and I didn't want to bring up some more contemporary folks. That being said, I also always quote Liam Regan, a friend of mine, who said his work on Return to Nukem High, which again, he didn't get, he was eating like old cold pizza, sleeping on like a floor, but he says that he used that as his film school, which was way cheaper than going to film school and paying, tens of thousands of dollars. Recently, I worked on Our Man Funk, and the crew on that movie, Cass, Brian, the producers of Our Man Funk, and also most of the crew, maybe all of the crew, all met on the Power Positive Murder for Troma. And they're kind of like bonded for life, I would say, from working together. And there's countless other people like that as well. but there are also other people who say negative things. There just are. But I would say the majority had positive experiences, 100%. And James Gunn himself, I think, is a good example. Obviously, had a great experience, and credits Troma for getting his foot in the door in his career. He puts Lloyd Kaufman in Guardians of the Galaxy and the new Superman, etc. So I wasn't, and wasn't a gotcha moment or any thing like that. I was also friends with Joel Reed, and he has his own take on this whole story, which is on video. But what I was really going for was I was asking Catherine, because obviously Catherine has gone on to Terrifier, which, huge success. So for her to come to Fantasia for Occupy Con, she obviously had to have fond memories and credit Troma for helping her. So I was trying to get, her personal experience. And since that interview, you can kind of see at the end there, Lloyd's like saying we're buddies, and it's all good. But I did email him because I was like, I didn't want to insult him or make him feel like I was trying to catch him in something here on the show or anything like that. And we've actually been talking the last 2 days, everything great. And I'm not here to kiss Lloyd's ass or anything like that, but I just wanted to mention that here on the show and give my personal experience with Lloyd Kaufman, because he's been on the show many times. One of the most recurring guests ever. I think he's in the top 5. He's been on very many times. In our early days of Without Your Head, before podcast was really even a thing, and I'd asked him to come on, and he came on for a pretty long interview. Since then, anytime I met him, just a very good guy. So we went to when they were Turning Nukem High Volume 1 was coming out, and they were showing it in New Hampshire at this screening called Be Real. And he's like, yeah, come on out, film whatever. He even wanted me just to film the movie. He's like, you could film the whole movie if you want while you're here. Basically, like, bootleg the movie. And then his wife, who's also very cool, and she was like, well, a little bit. So what we did was film some of the reactions from the crowd to use in the video interview. And he's like, let's film an interview. He's like, just come on in with me, So we went and we filmed an interview on the stage before the movie. And this was, just an hour or so before, like, they're letting people in. So, he's got to, prepare and get ready. And, he's not, a spring chicken. So, but a lot of energy, and was just very accommodating. So we filmed a cool interview on stage with him, filmed reactions from the crowd. And he was all about that. And then again at Brookline, Coolidge After Midnight, he was there getting an award, him and his wife again. It's kind of like the Hall of Fame for midnight movies. Showed the original Toxic Avenger. We actually sat next to them for the screening, which was cool. Gives a long, award ceremony after. And then he stays till like 3 a.m. signing autographs, all for free for people who had come out. And then after that, after the theater had closed, stayed and did another video interview with us. Fast forward 2 years later, when I'm making my first feature film with Sophia Cassiola and Michael Epstein, the Once and Future Smash, End Zone 2, which you can get on Blu-ray. Just message me and I'll get you the link. Double disc set. So we want, if people don't know, it's a mockumentary where I've got a lot of my horror friends to play themselves, talking about how influential this 1970 horror film, which doesn't really, well, it does exist, but it didn't really exist in 1970, how influential this basically fake film was to their real films. And so that was an experience for me that meant a lot, not only making my first feature, but it also gave me more confidence. And also I realized that people trust me and like me because they were willing to do this with kind of a weird explanation of what we were doing. Because when we would film them, we basically, like, we had filmed a long form interview and we cut snippets out like we're making a real documentary, but we're just filming those snippets of things. And so some of them got the right away. So I'm like, well, whatever, but I like you, Neal. We'll figure this out. So I emailed Lloyd to play himself as someone who has been trying to buy End Zone 2 for years to distribute through Troma. And I don't get a reply back like, yes, I'll do this. No, I won't do this. I'll do this, but, pay me X amount, anything like that. I got a reply back with he recorded his whole part in the movie and more. He recorded like a 15-minute thing. We edited it down for the movie. So again, he didn't get anything out of it. He's in the movie, gets a credit, but he just did that because I asked him. So I appreciate that, and that's my personal experience. So my take has always been, which I tried to allude to there, is if you go into Troma with the mindset that this could be my foot in the door to work in independent film, just for the experience alone, maybe you don't have aspirations to work again in movies, but this will be a good time. This will be a memory that you'll always have with you working on an independent film for Troma. In my experience, almost 100% of the time, you're going to have a great experience that you'll remember. And maybe it can lead to something else. There's no guarantee of that. There's no guarantee if you spend $50,000 to go to film school, you're ever going to do anything either. But you will. You'll find people with common mindset. You'll get friends for life probably, and things like this. If you go with the mindset that this is going to make you rich off your first film or the film that you're putting together with Troma. Now, first of all, they're upfront, and I think anyone who knows Troma, they'll even jokingly say this, but also in honesty that, they're not going to, they'll pay you, but you're not going to be paid a lot. And I think that's known for anyone who knows Troma. They're very upfront about that. Lloyd's upfront about that. Just Troma itself is upfront about that. But I have had people come on the show and say the opposite, that they thought they'd get X amount, or they thought it would, be a big giant deal, all these things. So in my opinion, if you go in with that mindset, you will not have, you could possibly have a negative experience. And there's been guests on the show. You have some people who listen all the time know who they are. And so I can't, I'm not going to say that they're wrong or whatever. I'm just saying that's my opinion on what mindset you have going in. So I just wanted to clear that up because we've been doing Without Your Head for 20 years. Me, Troy, and John started the show 20 years ago. Back then it was really about talking about the franchise films we grew up like, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, all these movies. As the show progressed, it really became, we still talk to those people, obviously, but really has become more championing independent film. Lots of guests on the show from independent film, whether they're filmmakers or actors. And me personally have gotten involved, and now I've gotten Troy involved in independent film. So something not only do I believe in, it's also something that I'm involved in. And there's no denying that Troma is a huge part of that. And I think they're an inspiration to, just about everyone, at least some point in their career, who wants to or are making independent film. And so I think Lloyd's very important in that. He's always championed independent film, independence in general, I would say. The little guy. And again, I'm not here trying to kiss Lloyd's ass. I'm just giving my personal opinion. And also, I didn't want it to come off like I was insulting Lloyd or anything like that. So that's been a big part of the show. And anyway, I'm not going to read text with me and Lloyd, but yeah, he said, he's a grumpy older guy now, and as he kind of alluded to, there was early in the morning and everything. So everything's really cool. And he even sent me this nice picture with it was him in his costume from the new Superman. So this is his Superman costume. So I was very happy. Yeah, time has flown by. 2008. Let's see. Lloyd and Troma gave me the greatest, most important time of my life. I could never express how special it is to me. Yeah, exactly. So when we were doing Our Man Funk, Troma opened the doors to us. I think we were supposed to stay there till 11 or so. We were there till about 3 a.m. Shooting a great scene with with Bill Whedon for Our Man Funk. Lisa Gay was there. I'm sorry, I won't remember the names, but there was people there, and they were who worked for Troma. I think it was Lloyd's personal assistant was there, and he went and bought us coffee and we made coffee in the Troma studios. And out of his own pocket, drove us there because some people were filming, and so me and Annabelle with him and drove and got the coffee and made it in the studio. Gave us a tour. They were actually editing Mr. Melvin while we were there, so they showed us a little bit of that. They were working, all night, editing the movie. So again, I just wanted to put over the importance. Now, Occupy Con, I think, is a great documentary. It's a documentary about how Con is supposed to be about independent film and helping independent film. And it's something, if I had more time with Lloyd, I wanted to ask about, what does that even mean, independent film? Because it's such a broad term today. I have nothing against A24. I love a lot of their movies, but can you consider A24 in the same category as Troma or before, even outside of Troma, stuff that's made for $10,000 or $50,000, or even like Terrifier movies like $200,000. All these are independent. A24, Neon, these movies, are $10 million, $5 million. And some will have A-list actors. And that's no knock on them. That's great that they can do that. But it's weird that is that they would all be considered the same, idea. They're all, independent film. Are they? I mean, to some degree, I guess. They're not, but is it really the same thing? And then some of those, the quote unquote independents, they can get billboards, some of the real big movies. And then guys like Troma, you can't have a sign, you can't wear these masks, you can't do these different things. So these a place that's supposed to really be championing independent film is starting to hurt the little guy. It makes it harder for them on a platform that should be even. It makes it harder for them. And that's what Lloyd had always talked about, net neutrality, which, I'd never really even heard the term until people started to talk about it. But he had always talked about it because that is what kept, the smaller guy on even playing field to some degree on the internet until that was taken away. Now, Devil's Advocate, while watching Occupy Con, which I think is a great documentary, and they show some of this. I thought it was a really interesting. Charlotte Kaufman had said in the documentary, she heard her whole life from her father Lloyd. I'm the little guy I've been keeping down. They're trying to suppress me. Now, is that true, or is that self-sabotage so he can be the underdog? I thought that was an interesting take from his daughter, who knew him her whole life, and vice versa. So I thought that was interesting. And is that something that her and Lloyd had talked about ever in life? I don't know. So I thought that was interesting to think. And then you could take Devil's Advocate stance. Yeah, I think it's fine if Lloyd's wearing a different color jacket. I think it's fine if they have signs, if they're dressed as characters. Now, I like Zach Amico. He's been on the show. Should Zach Amico run around with his dog hanging out painted green? No, it's probably a crime. So I could see you can't not necessarily be like, oh, they're holding me down because they won't let us run around with our dogs out painted green. So I could there are levels, and let's face it, Troma pushes the boundaries, which I think everyone who makes art should. But anyway, a great documentary. I think everyone should check it out. It's they filmed it over years. There's some James Gunn footage in there. I didn't put together the Catherine because I've seen all the Troma movies. I've seen Return of Nukem High movies. I didn't realize because I also seen all the Terrifier movies, and I didn't realize when I watched the first Terrifier film that Catherine was from Troma. So that was cool. And I also am always happy when someone who's done well for themselves, still supports Troma. So I definitely check that out. I know it's going to go from other festivals from here. I've actually been suggesting some to Lloyd, and so hopefully it comes to a festival near you. Eventually, I know it'll be streaming and everything, but if you can go see it in a festival, I'm a big supporter of film festivals in general. They're a great time. So before I go though, I had mentioned independent film. So Troy and I have been for about a year now putting together Arbor Day. And I mentioned this many times, but Troy's been making some great props, which I don't have right here, else I would show them as well. We will in the future. And it came up that I had Annabelle was involved in the movie, and then she's left the show and the film. And one of the things she was going to do was make a puppet, the Master Wog at one point, Master Zog character. And so I was like, do I get someone else to make it? Maybe I'll try to make it. Maybe I'll just make a sock puppet. I don't know. I've never made a puppet. So I started studying puppet making. Now I'm a puppeteer, I guess. But so I never thought I could make one. I never thought I'd make one so nice. Because then I was like, well, so I would really like the eyes to move so he could squint and he can get his eyes real big. And so, yeah, I made this device. I can't really show it, but it's a mechanical device inside the head. And I was very happy with that. I've got the body here. I've got the arms. So, yeah. So the next step, I'm going to make legs. He's going to be a fully functioning puppet, almost like a puppet from Fraggle Rock, I would say. This is the prototype. This is the prototype head. So this is foam from a seat cushion, actually. And the mouth plate, excuse me. The mouth plate is actually a to-go container from Market Basket that we got like a cheeseburger in, and I cut out. So look, you can to make art, you don't need like $1 bazillion. I made this out of some cheap stuff, but it worked. And so for this guy, it's some little higher grade stuff in there. And thank you to the folks who have been donating to the Puppet Fund. So from there, I've really enjoyed making the puppet. So I've decided kind of rework the movie where all the supernatural, all the monsters will be a puppet. So it's sort of like a labyrinth or a never-ending story, but a weird horror comedy fantasy film. So I'm very excited about it. Troy's been making amazing stuff. The Arbonomicron's awesome. The eyeballs for the tree demon are fantastic. So we got a lot more stuff to go. Next up for the puppet is the feet. This is before I get the fur on the feet. So feet. So originally he was Master Wog, and then I was told Wog is a racial slur in the UK. I was like, oh, okay. So I changed the name to Master Zog, and then I was like in a forum the other day, like, oh, Zog is a white supremacist term, and I was like, I mean, I could just keep renaming him constantly, but I just assume there'll always be some issue, and if you look hard enough, you'll probably find something. But this is not a term I had ever heard before, so I think Zog is fine. Stoked to watch the doc. Power to the people that support indie cinema. Yeah, it's great. I've not seen the Power Positive Murder yet either, which I'm looking forward to, which was billed as Lloyd's last film that he directed. So wasn't Shakespeare Shitstorm, so you never know. Maybe he'll get the itch again. But either way, I'm excited to see it. I think we'll probably have Lisa Gay back on sometime when Mr. Melvin comes out. I also have a friend who's in the new Toxic Avenger, former guest, and he will be back on as well. What's the shirt bus? Oh, this is some weird ice cream shirt I have. It's from some ice cream shop. I think someone sent it to me once. It says, "The Years of Temptation, Sebastian Joe's Ice Cream Cafe." Yeah, I don't know. I forget who gave me this. I'm sorry, but someone gave this to me years ago. To be honest, when they gave it to me, it was too small. But I'm a smaller man now, and now it fits. So I don't remember who sent it to me. Let's see. Yeah, hit the like button. Yes, exactly, Troy. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Share this out. Leave some comments. That's all free. And if you'd like to help support Without Your Head, you can become a member. It starts only $3 a month. I added a new tier. It's $10 a month, but for that one, you will get IMDb credit as a producer of Without Your Head. Yes, thank you, Shannon. Don't listen to people, just make art. I agree. Let's see. Todd Quality Jaeger here. Hello. You're good, man. There will be a new episode up soon. I'm sorry, just not had time. Been doing a bunch of interviews for Fantasia Fest and Fright Fest coming up. So I like doing these live streams. I like doing interviews. So I'm gonna try to pop up here daily-ish. Probably not every single day, but daily-ish. And usually 3, I think, is a good time for the weekend. Maybe during the week it'll be some other time. So you got to hit that little bell icon to see when we're going live. And Thursday is our long show. It'll be me, usually me, Troy, Tara, and AJ, and now Bill Eden is part of the show. And we usually have a guest to open the show, and then we'll show trailers and talk about stuff, and maybe we'll take video calls. It's a good time. That's usually like a 3.5 hour show. These other ones will be shorter, probably between a half hour and an hour. What was I going to say? So this Thursday is Gil Gex and Sky Elobar. So both of them are from the Greasy Strangler, which I'm a huge fan of. If anyone knows me, knows I'm a big fan of the Greasy Strangler. And they are the leads in the new Jim Hosking movie, who is the director of the Greasy Strangler, Ebony and Ivory, and it is a comedy about the making of the song Ebony and Ivory. Not necessarily a horror movie, but who cares? It's a weird movie with cool folks. So that'll be this Thursday, and then a lot of for these daily shows. So I recorded an interview with the folks who made this movie Sugar Rot. I don't think I can even show the poster on here. I'd probably get kicked off, but it's this very strange movie about women being devoured like candy. It didn't premiere, but it played a Fantasia festival, so I interviewed them. Really great interview with Crispin Glover. That's actually been a dream guest of mine. I tried to get on the show for many years, so I was glad that came about. And I'd mentioned before, but it's given a certain amount of time. He went way over went way over the time. It's about 45 minutes. I think I was given 15 minutes. But kudos to the PR woman who set that up. She let it go long because she knew it was really good. But eventually she did have to stop it because there were other people who were waiting. You didn't want them to wait, forever. So I did feel a little bad about that. But since then, yeah, she was really happy with the interview. And then she had set up an interview with the director of his new movie. So I did that the other day. So both those, I was going to put them together, but both of them are pretty long. So I think I will separate them. So I'll have that. I'll probably be doing the Crispin Glover one this week because it's premiering at Fright Fest in London. So I would like to have that up, before then, which is only in a couple weeks. So yeah, I'll probably have that. I think I'll do that one up maybe next. And Ginger Lynn, legendary adult film star, a really fun interview. There's a lot of them. I won't remember all of them they've done. They're really cool. And then also we've got a lot of folks who want to come on and plug different festival movies. They want to plug new campaigns they have, their independent movies. So some of the interviews will be recorded previously, some will be completely live. John Devlin will be on soon talking about fallacies and analogies, which I don't know how much you guys know about these. So Fallacies is a anthology film where it's a bunch of penis themed horror short films. And then Analogies is the same idea, but instead of penises, it is buttholes. So a penis anthology and then a butthole anthology. I assume that's right up Shannon's alley and Todd here. Yeah, Shannon was really cool. Crispin was awesome. And I was warned beforehand about Crispin, but I thought he's a really good guy. My voice is in fallacies. All right, that's good. We will be doing that. All right. So anyway, we got some cool stuff coming up. I appreciate everyone coming by here. Hit the like button, subscribe. If you have a trailer in the future you'd like me to play in the show, just message me on social media or email me at withoutyourhead@gmail.com, and we'll play them on future episodes. I'm going to get out of here. Go together like peanut butter and jelly. Who's that? Oh, buttholes and penises. Yeah. I like that. The new peanut butter and jelly is butthole and penises. Why not? I like it. Oh, I do actually have something here that Troy made. Oh, I forgot. Here is a prop that my brother made for Arbor Day. It's very gross. This is maybe could have got into this, not fallacies, but the second one there. This is this is gross. Greetings from the Netherlands. Hello, Edie. Good to see you here. I was just wrapping up. The next anthology is toe tags about feet. Yeah. So it's weird. You start with the penis, you go to the butthole, then the feet. Seems like a, kind of like not as extreme, I think. But at the same time, maybe it is because, not everyone is into, not saying everyone is into penises either, but, probably half the population or a little bit more. So like women not all women. I'd say half the population probably into the penises. Maybe not everyone into the butthole, but, a lot of people like butts, but not everyone's into feet, I would think. So I don't know. Maybe that's like the most extreme the more I think about it. Hi, Edie. Yeah, Edie's a good person. I'm just proud to be part of that series. So you're in toe tags as well? If they ever make a series of about belly button fetishes, maybe I can be in that because I am belly buttonless. No belly button. The Neal Golem, yeah. So I actually was inspired by this. Troy made this as the Neal Golem. So it's like it's my colon that was removed. It's my belly button that was removed. My wisdom teeth and part of my eyes from my LASIK. So this is the nasty Neal Golem. It's all the bits that have been removed from me. There's some hair on where the belly button is. And so anyway, I actually was inspired by this and I wrote it into the film. I'm gonna have to go here in a second. So I wrote this into the film as not as the Neal Golem, but as something else. Hey, Shannon. All right. So yeah, my mom's calling me, so I'm gonna head on out here. We can't not take a phone call from your mom or my mom. So I'm going to play us out here with the trailer from Occupy Con, and I'll be back tomorrow with someone, maybe Crispin Glover, I'm not sure yet, but I'll be back with an interview tomorrow. So hit like, subscribe, share this out, become a member if you would like to. Leave some comments on the YouTube video after it is finished. I appreciate it. All right. Good night, everybody. Or good.
The Cannes Film Festival is a big market. We've been there since 1971.
We're not big stars, so we have to find some way to get the attention. Dance and sing and march along the Croisette. And this is the way that Troma is able to compete with a huge company.
Troma is the oldest independent movie studio.
50 years. We have lots of volunteers who come and make noise so that buyers will license our movies.
The Troma group back in 2001, 2002 were raging alcoholic lunatics who hadn't got their shit together.
I think going out this time, Troma's kind of revamped itself a little bit. The team involved takes it much more seriously.
The Troma team is working to occupy time.
We're trying to get the attention of buyers with our picket signs and everything else, promoting our movie. Guerrilla marketing.
Come to the arcade cinema, world premiere, return to Nukamai. Troma! Oh, we can't even have signs here. Who needs to sell movies anyway?
We stopped twice by the police on the way over here.
Okay, after we take you in the Jeep.
Hey, je suis venu ici depuis 71. C'est un festival. Put me in jail.
I would think that these guys walking around with machine guns are a little scarier than Troma.
Broken with finished.
Might be this is the last year it can for Troma.
There's no doubt that Troma's antics and like Troma's strategy is wise and is really like making a statement.
Thank you, Ken. I hope you all get laid.